Welcome back to our safe space. It's your fave brown hand, Lungi Gumede, signing in. It has been such a long time. It's been a few months, guys, and I'm sorry. My reason being is being in college, being my first year student in college, and it's been a lot to balance. The course that I'm doing is demanding in the terms of having 7 subjects to attend to. 7 subjects, attending 5 days a week, combined with assignments and group work and group assignments, and then exams. It's exam season right now, but we're gearing towards the end of trial exams, but we're still going for final exams. And then family is being family, and life has been lifing. Life has been lifing, to just say the least. But it's not an excuse. It's not an well, actually it is an excuse. It's my reasons. So I haven't been able to just find the energy and the drive to put it on, turn it on, and be on camera. Being perceived is something that you need to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually aligned for. So that's what's been going on. But today I'm just gonna be, this video is for people or anyone who wants to become a waitress. So I was a waitress for a few years. I worked at Wimpy. From 2018 until last year, 2024. So since I was 18 years old, actually I started when I was 17, because I started in November, and then I turned 18 in December, so a few days into my job I turned 18. So from 17 until last year, 2024, until I was 23. So you can do the math, that's 5 years and a few days of working there. So I have a bit of experience. So this is for anybody who wants to get into the industry, pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages, and my experience, my real raw experience. I'm here to just share it. So let's start with the pros. Let's start with the good stuff. Yeah, good stuff is tips. Tips. What is tips? Tips is money. Everyone knows what a tip is. A tip is money, the money that you get from the customers that you serve. And if you're really fortunate that day, you can even get a tip from a takeaway. If someone's just ordering a takeaway and they give you a tip, but that's very rare, very, very rare, once in a blue moon kind of thing. But yeah, so tips where I'm based. So I'm based in KwaZulu-Natal, Richards Bay. And the tips would range between, and this is so sad, and you guys need to stop it. Honestly, it's actually kind of rude. What I'm about to say, it's actually kind of rude for anybody to even tip a human being that amount of money. And put aside my age, there are also people who are older than me, in their 30s, in their 40s, that are waitresses, because they started a really long time back when they were young, and they've been in the industry, and they would also get this tip. People would even tip as little as R1, R1.50, R2. Honestly, you don't even give your children in high school or primary school R2 to go to the tech shop. You don't even give your kids R2 to go to the tech shop. It's like a slap in the face. And it's going to the extent that some waitresses will literally just not even include that into the total of the bill. If you're gonna tip R1, R2, R5. Honestly, anything less than R10, it's not that it's not even, how do I put this nicely, guys? This is a person's job that they wake up for. They wake up early in the morning, they bath, and this is how they put food on their table. People have kids, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why tips even exist is because waitresses get the bare minimum when it comes to salaries. You can literally make anywhere between 2,500 to 3,500 per month as your salary. Depending on, and if you're getting 3,500, that means you're working overtime. You're working 6 days a week. You're on your feet all day, getting backache, foot aches, leg aches, everything. Your arms are tired. You're giving it your all if you're getting the 3.5. So like when you give a grown adult less than 10 rand, you should be, honestly, you should be ashamed. You should really be ashamed, and you shouldn't do that. Like, how do you give a grown person that amount of money? And I understand that nobody's obligated to, and that's why I say rather just don't. Rather just don't. Like, how do you think they're supposed to feel when someone else gives them less than 10 rand? So as I was saying, from that minimum to, yo, you can even get 1,000 rand tip, you know, but that's if you're just, you know, if you're lucky, that's your lucky day. You get, you know, customers that are very generous and whatnot. 1,000, you can get 500. But like, let's just say the average is anywhere between the, you know, like 10 rand to average to 70 bucks. That's like the average for Richards Bay. I'm knowing in Gauteng, in Joburg and stuff, average tips are like 50 bucks going up, but this side it's not the same. It's not like that. So a day you can walk away with, on an average day, you would walk away with 150. And then during the holidays you can walk away with 300 rand a day, you know, like December holidays, Easter holidays, June, July. 300 rand, 400, 500 if it was a really good day, 600 if it was a really, really, really good day, if you're super busy. And yeah, so the pros are the tips, but you put in work for those tips. You put in a lot of work it's a lot of work serving, especially in the restaurant that I was in, which was super busy. Wimpy is very loved this side, so super, super busy, super popular. I think it's because of the prices, and also offer a lot of meat, you know, so that really caters to the target market or the demographic of Richards Bay in particular, the side of KZN. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much the pros, and just having a job, you know, to wake up to, and you know, to get bread and butter from. And then the cons is the treatments that you'll get, not only from customers who, how do I put this nicely? I don't think there's a nice way to put it. Customers who look down on you, honestly, because they view you as less than for working that job, you know. Even if as someone young who is like, it's kind of like understandable, you definitely get those customers that are like side eye, like, you know, like they talk to you anyhow, they yell at you, and you're supposed to be nice. You can't, obviously, you know, not talk back in a sense, but you can't really, even if you explain, you can't explain in ways like, whoa, don't talk to me like that. You can't give that energy, even though you know, as a human, you're supposed to be like, whoa, you know, I deserve respect. And then management in that industry, or maybe the specific place that I worked at, tricky. Hey, I think management it's not really a thing of every restaurant is the same. So I think you can generalize customers, right, and salaries and money, but I don't think you can generalize management. So I think that really depends on, oh my gosh, there's a mosquito right there and it's like bugging me. Let me just spray it. You can't really generalize people in management. Everybody's different, but management will have a similar mentality, from my experience, that they look down on you because of your job position. Even though you're working in the same workplace and whatnot, it's very easy for people to talk to you anyhow, and because, you know, essentially need the job. Nobody really works their job unless they need it, you know what I'm saying? So they are aware of that, and they're aware of how easy it is to become a waitress, because you don't need any qualifications. You just literally just come as you are, and if they need you know, staff, or they like you, then they'll employ you, you know, and you just go through like a 1 week training. Is it about 1 week? And then you work. So they can literally hire anybody, and they're aware of how easy it is to get the job as well. So they literally will tell you that, like, I can get somebody else right now. You are replaceable, as amongst other things as well. Sure. I think you can tell that I didn't enjoy my experience. It helped me in life. It definitely helped me to give me money. Like, you can't live in this earth without money. So it helped in that sense. I put food in my stomach, a roof over my head, and all of that. But I do not recommend, unless summertime job, part-time job, over the December holidays, June, July holidays, that's fine. If you ever get the opportunity to, like, take a year off and just work as a waitress before, like a gap year kind of thing, don't do it. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's so easy to, you get used to the fact that you have money, and now you don't have to ask anybody, for the bare minimum, for the basics, for like your data, or just like pocket money to buy whatever you need. It's so easy to get comfortable in that, and you're just like, ugh, and now to go back to being dependent on maybe your family or whoever, I don't recommend doing a gap year for it. It's fine for a summer job, you get in, you get out, but yeah. So you got to be an active person. You've got to be on your feet. You got to be friendly. You got to be a people's person, because, like, as an introvert, it was very challenging for me to have to literally introduce myself to a different group of people every single minute. Like, literally just walking up to a group of people, introducing yourself. But it gets easier because you get used to it, and you're doing your job, and they're there for you to actually, be in their face in that sense, and to be served and assisted. And people are different. Some people will be very nice to you and be like, oh, hi, how are you? And they'll be open to hearing your recommendations, and they'll be friendly and respectful. And then you'll get those odd few that are a bit on the quiet side. You'll get the rude ones. And large groups, they are the most difficult to serve, because not everyone is like concentrating on getting the order across, you know what I'm saying? And not everyone's listening to the fact that you have to be specific about this and that and that, and they have the thing that they can change their mind. But like, literally, once you punch an order into the system, for most restaurants, you can't take that back. They have their own reasons, but you can't take that back. They like to, what's the word? To void, like voiding an order is out. Like, a waitress will pay for it, whether it's the waitress's a mistake or fault, so like punching the wrong order, or a customer simply wants to change their mind. If you ordered something complicated that somebody else won't order, the waitress, there is a possibility, high possibility, that the waitress will have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a bit of the job, a part of the job. And then obviously having to deal with men thinking that, like, you have to give them your number, they have to give you, like they're entitled, for some sort of number exchange and whatnot. But I mean, as it's your job, to work with people, you adapt and you find ways of dealing with customers like that. Sometimes simply just taking the number, smiling and being like, okay, and then you're gonna throw it away, and then sometimes you just find strategies of dealing with it in a way that won't offend them, you know what I'm saying? What else can I say? I have pointers actually written down. Where is it? Oh, so how did I get the job? So I knew a person. Okay, I was attending a church at that time, and I was attending a church, and I told, like, my fellow church members that, like, I'm looking for a summertime job, part-time job. If anybody knows anybody who's like employing and whatnot, please let me know. Like, I'm willing to do almost any kind of job. And then it turns out that one of the people I was talking to was the manager of the mall, of Boardwalk Mall. And he simply was like, okay, like, since I'm like, I know every single store manager in the entire mall, come to my office and I will literally take you to each and every single store until somebody says that they will give you a job. And as simple as that. So then it was the next day, got there not too long afterwards. Within that, within a 7-day period, I went to his office. He did exactly that. He took me from store to store. he started off with restaurants and then went to Wimpy. Management was open to like hiring, especially because it was, you know, approaching December time, December holidays, and that's how I got the job. You know, and then obviously I had to do an interview. They asked me a few questions. They told me about the specifications of the job, that you have to be a hard worker, you have to be active, you're going to be on your feet for hours and hours walking around, and that's pretty much it. And also lunchtime. I think this is pretty common in certain levels of jobs, but our lunchtime is 30 minutes. But you have to, I think this is common though, because I've heard other people mentioning this as well, that you have to no, not what happens is sometimes the managers would literally like call you back onto the floor when your lunch break isn't finished, simply because the store is so, you know, the restaurant is so full, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes they even take advantage the restaurant isn't full, but they just call you back onto the floor because I can't tell you why. I really can't tell you why, because like as I'm saying, the restaurant wasn't full sometimes and they just call you back on the floor. So be prepared to eat for like even 15 minutes, but you're going to be working like, you're going to be on your feet, you know, for hours and hours and hours. Colleagues in the waitressing industry, I don't think you can like generalize it or summarize colleagues. It depends on people are different everywhere you go. So I think my advice would be is to literally just pray about the people you're going to be working with, you know, the type of people you're going to be working with. Pray about the working environments that you're going to be in. Pray for the managers that you're going to have whilst you're still job hunting or job searching. It's so important to be in a healthy working environment, because you will spend most of your time at work. It's really more like you live at work and you're visiting at home. And to be in a toxic environment where you may be bullied or disrespected by customers and all of that, and the people you're with, and you feel like you can't trust them, and all of these things, it's something that I don't wish on anyone. There's a fly on my phone. It's something I don't wish on anyone, but again, you cannot generalize people. So my advice would be to pray for good people with good hearts, and that are respectful, people that are respectful and are able to cooperate and work with other people, and people who are just mindful of their words and their energy. Same goes with management. Just pray for managers that respect you, that understand that you are here just to put bread and butter on the table, and managers that, yeah, just respect. Honestly, people like, I unfortunately worked with people that said so many things that were out of pocket, out of line, and you just kind of have to go with it, you know what I'm saying? So also people who are spiritually in a good place, believe it or not, people can like, even for a job, you know, at Wimpy, people can be spiritually active. That's the only words I'm going to say about it. And so really just pray about the environments that you're going to work in. What's it like to be a waitress? You just have to be bubbly. You got to turn it on, you know, because you got to be a people's person. You're gonna build arm strength, you know. You're gonna be balancing plates of food, 3 plates, 4 plates, 5 at a time, drinks, 3, 4, 5 glasses at a time, and you better not drop those glasses, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes your management will be lenient, other times you'll have to pay for it. And it kind of sucks because it's like that means it pretty much goes by their mood, because like what makes it okay for me to drop a glass with a drink at this time, and then you're just like, oh shame, it was a mistake, and then another time you're like, oh, you have to pay for it. It's like, what's the difference, you know what I'm saying? What else? I mean, I developed back pain from that job. I really developed back pain, and even like I was taking painkillers every single day on that job. to the extent that like even when I stopped working, I had to deal with back pain for a few months, literally months, and I'm only okay now. Like my back has like pretty much gone back to normal like this year. So yeah, I just gotta be prepared for that. How I exited the industry, how yeah, my experience. It's kind of interesting. It's a bit of a story, but since this is what we're here for, pretty much one day I had not a group, a couple. So my customers were a couple, a man and a woman. They were pretty old. They were elderly. I can't say their specific age, but they had silver hair, silver gray hairs on white hair on their head. That's how old they were. And they were a white couple, and they came in with balloons, like just a few balloons. It wasn't more than, I think it was one. If it wasn't one, it wasn't more than three, like tiny bit of balloons. And I greeted them, I handed them their menus, they sat down, they took their menus, and I took their order. I punched it in, and I think the wife mentioned that it was her husband's birthday. So yeah, and that was pretty much it, and they left. Everything seemed to be a-okay, no complaints to me. They didn't ask for the manager or supervisor, nothing. And then a few days later, we get an email from like the office. The manager's office gets an email from the head office saying that there's a complaint from customers that were served. They say that the waitress wasn't friendly because it was the husband's birthday, and the waitress didn't sing happy birthday for her husband, and because of that they will never recommend Wimpy to anybody and to all their friends and their family, and they had such a horrible experience. The end. And then the question was like, did these customers ask you, to sing happy birthday? No, they didn't. Did these customers complain once they were done eating and they were about to leave, or even during, their stay? No, they didn't. They asked for supervisors or managers? No, they didn't. They just went on straight to send an email. And how we did things was that you don't just sing happy birthday for a customer unless they ask you to sing, because some people don't like the attention and the noise that comes with a happy birthday song. So that's literally how we had been doing things for a long time. Oh, and the email also specified that because this waitress is chasing away customers, essentially, that's what they're getting from this email, she must go. Like, we do not need her. Like, she must be fired, pretty much. We do not need her. And then management was like, this is tricky and this is sad that it has to be this way, but since like we've worked with you for a few years and we know like how passionate you can be about your job and how you really give your job your all, like I was a go, like even like on a hard day I'll put my best foot forward, you know what I'm saying. They're like, we're not gonna fire you, we're gonna offer you a job working at the back, washing dishes permanently, not like for a short amount of time, just as a punishment, like forever. And that would mean a deduction in my salary, not in my basic salary. Everybody earns the same amount as your basic salary, but they do earn more at the back of house in terms of salary, but it's not much of a difference. It's like a 300 rand difference per month. They make about 300 rand more because they work more hours. Like they have like, I think it's like an hour difference between waitresses and back of house staff, and that adds up in the month, and then you make like a 300 rand difference. But overall I'll be making less because the majority of the money I made, actually, that I was living on to buy groceries and essentials and other things, was the tips that I was making. So pretty much like my salary was gonna go down by a very fair amount, and already as it was, I wasn't able to get everything that I would like to get. Even though like I'm not talking about everything I wanted to get, like, oh, I wanted to buy a car or something, or I wanted to get like a big apartment. No, I mean like everything I wanted to get that was within reason. So they said, you can take time to think about it, and then get back to us. So they gave me about a week to think about it, and I came to the conclusion that it's not worth it, and it was my time. It was my time to go. I had been feeling that feeling for a very long time, that I do not want to work here anymore. Like, I was experiencing panic attacks leading up to the end of my job. Like, I had never, not yet, before working at Wimpy, I had never experienced panic attacks. Once I had started, you know, after some time, I would be experience panic attacks. Like, I would just cry sometimes out of the blue. Like, someone would just be like, "Hi, how are you? Are you okay?" And I would literally, like, tears would like run down my face, not only at work, even at home when I was still living at my family's house. Like, even like, you know, with my gran, like I just knew that like I'm in the wrong place. Like this place is no longer meant for me. There isn't any growth here. You know, like, people can literally work for 10 years and you get no promotion, no raise. You're just doing the same thing, you know, and that thought was just, you know, so scary. So for a long time, I just felt it in my heart that like, I need to get out of here. I need to just do something else with my life, even if it means that I don't do anything. Eventually I will do something, you know. So that was just like the confirmation I needed to like let it go. And I did exactly that. I was like, no thank you, my time is up, and goodbye. And that's how I exited the industry. And that gives you an idea of how tricky it is dealing with people. That gives you an idea of how people just are so inconsiderate and unthoughtful, you know, when it comes to people who work a certain job, you know, certain jobs and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that pretty summarizes it all. I really wish I had more positive things to say, but like, I mean, if you need a job and that's the only job available, go for it. But think twice. Like, if you can branch out into something else and you see that you have other options, I would just say think twice. Or if you do enter into that industry with a plan, you know that when you get in there, you're maybe saving up money to do this course or that course that can get you a different job in a different industry, in a different working environment. Because trust me, your feet will ache, your legs will ache, your back will ache, you will be exhausted, you will be in pain, you know. Like, specifically with, like, I would literally serve 5 tables at a time, 6 tables at a time, 6 tables with like 4 people, 6 tables like 4 people, so 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 people who want their food now, they want their drinks now, they want their order taken now, they want to pay their bill now, they don't want to wait, you know, and they all want you to be on 100, you know what I'm saying? So, but like, as I was saying, like, the specific branch that I was working at was really busy because people love, a demographic just love the food that Wimpy had to offer, especially within the price range that they have. So yeah, but I definitely grew a lot working there. I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about, yeah, mainly people. And it was an eye-opener, you know, seeing how people in different work levels work, because I didn't grow up in an environment where like my parents were working normal jobs. Like, my parents were in business. My dad was doing business, my mom was doing business. So I only saw things from the perspective of owners, you know what I'm saying? People have to deal with paying salaries and paying rent and buying stock and things of that nature. I never really got to see from the ground level how it is. So it was definitely an eye-opener. And now I'm able to pick up on different things, you know, when it comes to ground level work, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I did grow a lot from that experience. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and one more thing. There is a book. Where is the book? Let me get the book. So I'm promoting this book. It's called How She Got Wrapped Around My Fingers by Swazi B. Majola. She asked me to promote her book. She is a South African author, and this is a South African book. You can order this book. I'll leave the details below in the description box if you'd like to place an order and buy this book. It's a romance book. Yeah, it's a South African romance book, romance novel, and it was a really good read. It's a total of 242 pages. It's about a crime investigator who has been working as a waitress for the past 2 years, interestingly enough. But then Anati finally gets a break when she lands her dream job at one of the top law firms in Durban as a private investigator. It isn't long before she becomes close with her boss, who's the name partner of the firm, a wife to a businessman, and a mother to an only son. Miss Pagade is known as an uptight ice queen at the office, but everything changes when the boss and Anati find themselves in a steamy, romantic relationship. So it's a nice read. It's interesting, entertaining. So yeah, this book, it's not a paid promotion, but I was asked to promote the book. So I'll leave, details on how you can get the book in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope to create more videos. Yeah, that is my hope. And that's the end of the video. So be love, be you, and I'll see you in the next one. It's your favorite brown hen signing out. Bye.